Friends, colleagues and listeners, here we are, right almost over halfway now in this little series, and we're on episode 2. And the colleague I've got with me is again, and I've got to have a quick look to make sure I do the pronunciation right. It's not Mr. Kroonenburg, it's actually Mike Kroonenburg, correct? Have I got that right, Mike?
In Dutch it's Kroonenburg.
Kroonenburg, yeah? As you know, my Dutch isn't fantastic. So Mike is currently a cargo hero with Wholesale by Vels, but he's also co-founder of Cargopilot. Nice to have you. This one's quite important. I know it's right up your street, Mike. So we're going to be talking about something that you said earlier about business rules. Okay.
Yes.
So do you want to just explain what you mean firstly by business rules?
Definitely. Yeah, in logistics, everybody thinks it's about getting a pallet, bringing it to the airline, but in theory, it's a bit different.
Yep.
Like with business rules, we implemented some in our system. For instance, if a pallets need to get collected with a 2-day trucking transit to a warehouse, then Cargopilot makes sure the client isn't able to book a flight before it arrives in our warehouse.
Okay, so I'm sorry to interrupt you there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rattle off the 4 that we spoke about, which I think make an awful lot of sense. So the first one being time slot connectivity. Yeah. The second one being practical performance competencies, which we've spoken about in great depth, and thanks for filling me in on that. The third one being the safety platform linking to industry best practices along the SMS platform, policy manuals, etc. And then last, but probably one of the most important ones that you guys have got, which is the security commitment. Okay, so now all 4 make sense. Wonderful, wonderful safety net that you've got there, you're building in. So if we can just go through them one by one. So now, time slot connectivity.
Yes,
all right, so I know you just
yeah.
started to touch on it, but if you can just give us a few more details on that particular one, that would be great.
Yeah, so time slot looks at the certain milestones we need to tick off before we can continue with the next one.
Yeah.
Say contacting the shipper, arranging all the paperwork, getting it customs cleared, etc. And during the quotation and booking stage in the platform, it already looks at the shipment, where it needs to come from, how long will it take before it reaches our warehouse, and after that you can book a flight. But for instance, also if it's too big for just a regular quote, it sends a ping to our spot quotes team for watch out, big shipment, perhaps you can get a better deal, negotiate better transit times with truckers or the airline. Okay,
so in my world, so we talk about cargo IQ milestones, and there's various other KPI milestones from the contracts between GHA and carrier. When you're talking about milestones, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're talking about all the parameters and all the influences that have to be in line before a booking can be made.
Exactly.
Yeah, and if the booking can't be made, it's either because those milestones have to be corrected, or they have to be influenced, or they have to go through process, or it's an exceptional case that then moves over onto the practical performance human side.
Definitely, because we think that it's nice to see everybody digital ordering everything from a marketplace, but once you have to move, let's say, a helicopter from A to B, you can't just do it with a digital booking platform. That's where the knowledge and the people need to interfere.
That's music to this old dinosaur's ears. Every now and again you do need people with certain skills, and I think it's great that that's what you're doing. Now we come to number 2, so practical performance competencies. So again, my understanding is you're spending an awful lot of time investing in your people, so that when a customer does have to go through that particular process, they're getting the very best person to deal with.
Definitely, yeah. We think that like the 80% of the bookings from small boxes to a couple of parcels can be done digitally. Yeah. But with the AOG situations, pharma, heavy pieces, odd size, a platform isn't going to tell you from ask for a road permit. Yeah. It isn't applying for the road permit, especially for the first mile. Yeah. And sometimes you have to negotiate with the airline when and how do we need to bump it, or those are the things in which especially we need people behind the computer to help our customers.
I agree. Not just behind the computer, but actually on site as well.
On site as well, yeah definitely.
And I thought it was a nice segue where you've got Cargopilot and you've actually got this process pilot exercise as well, where it gets handed over to somebody who takes control. They understand exactly what needs to be done. They come up with the best outcome and solution. I think that people side of it is going to make a big difference. How are the people in your team from Wholesale by Vels now being transitioned across to that particular emphasis and being aware of how important their role is?
We tell them in the first place, and we make them aware. So we have lots of situations where people need to interfere.
Yeah.
We make them aware. We tell them how to interfere. We try to educate them.
Yeah.
We provide them the best knowledge we can with real-time situations or experiences.
Yeah.
Especially since Rinaldo and I do have a lot of. We have been here for a bit longer.
So you know what goes on. But it was lovely the way the two of you, when we were talking earlier, you've got such a genuine sincerity about wanting to develop your people and keep that team together as long as you can. Yeah. And I think when people realise how much the pair of you care, that will come out in how they care for the customers' results at the end of the day, which is a lovely thing in this day and age. And I'm pretty sure it's going to help you with retention and succession and all the other challenges that the industry experts say are, falling apart at the moment. I'm now going to go to number 3, okay? The safety platform, SMS. So I know you specifically are more on that operational side, and you know how important that is. Mm-hmm. So you're going to follow the basic SMS principles that are best standards within all of the, from carrier, from airport. Everybody involved in aviation understands the SMS needs and necessities.
Definitely. Yeah, the safety platform, we are trying to get all the industry best practices into our system.
Yep.
And to enroll them. Especially they need to be aligned, for instance, with the airlines and other stakeholders like the trucking companies, customs authorities. And it's really, we need to have them on top.
Yeah, all singing off the same song sheet, yeah. And again, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but I was very impressed with the fact that you know how important that is from a responsibility and an accountability perspective. So I think that's going to say a lot to your employees as well, because they know that you as a company are taking that level seriously as well.
Definitely, because in the end we are the ones making the bookings.
You're the ones, and the two of you have to go to bed at night thinking about it. And clearly, you haven't got too much stress at the moment because you haven't got a single line on your head or around your eyes. So I'm going to look forward to having another follow-up maybe in a year or so, or the next session. And I'll have a closer look at Rinaldo now when he's sitting next to me, see how many lines he's got. Now, the last one, which was security commitment. Okay, and I know this really is one of, it's a USP of yours.
Yes, screening is one of the things which is really, especially security, because we are responsible, of course, for all the bookings. It's on our IATA, so we want to go to bed with a great feeling, not having to be in doubt about security on site. Therefore, we have a lot of screening policies. We try to secure every shipment based by ADD or X-ray, just what's needed. We did the documentation check. We told you about the AI.
Exactly,
so it's also a part where we can see if security is getting breached or not.
Yeah, that's important. And as far as being the sort of safety net for the carriers, with your relationship now with the carriers, I know you said it's so important. That must give them a lot of confidence as well, knowing that wherever it comes from, you're going to be screening it 100%.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Because in the end, we need to provide them with safe cargo, otherwise we get stops, etc., etc. And they need to have the feeling that we are delivering them with secured freight, no nonsense.
Yeah. And it's so important in this day and age because, people are saying that there's an increase in safety incidents and security incidents because of pressures on employees and shortfalls and lack of training and attrition levels. So important that you maintain those standards from the beginning. So well done, the pair of you.
We'll do our best and keep it.
I'm sure you will.
On as much on top as on the level as we can.
Yep. No, good man. Right. Thank you for that, Mike, and good luck with everything. And then the last episode where the two of you come together. I look forward to seeing you then.
We'll be there.
All right. Okay. Appreciate it. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.